Hello folks, I'm back with a new design that I'm working on to share with you some of the process I use. This particular poster is for PorchFest. It's in Oakhurst, Atlanta, Georgia. I've been doing this poster design for got a bunch of years now, and I've always enjoyed it. The festival is basically where but some of the houses and neighbors open up their porches and driveways and yards and allow bands and musicians to share their talents with the people. So hence Oakhurst Porch Festival. So this poster I have, as you can see right now, this is the sketch the concept that they approved. And this year they kind of wanted to go for a 70s type feel for the motif on this one. So, and the owl is a kind of a symbol of their festival, of their neighborhood. So I incorporated the owl as a primary focus for this design. As you can see here, I have some reference around here for color palette and just a vibe kind of an idea for, kind of a feel to the design. I think I'm going to go to more of like a busy type of layout for this one, composition wise, to keep it really fun and playful. I mean, the festival itself is like over 100 bands and musicians performing, and it really is a festive environment. So I wanted to be busy and fun and have a fun narrative to it. So my next phase here is to basically redraw this concept and kind of add to it, add more details and more specific items and all that stuff. I'm going to basically use this concept sketch as the basic layout for the design, but I'll kind of work it as I sketch over this, probably 2 to 3 times just to get what I want. Okay, so what I do at this point, I go to I'm in Corel Painter, by the way. I go to my pen tool and I go to my pencil, because I am still at the sketch phase, so I want to go to my pencil tools. And as soon as my thing stops spinning, I've had slow service today for some reason, who knows. Okay, so I'm on pencils now. Okay, sooner or later it'll give me, okay, I think I'm good now. Let's see what I got here. Okay, so that's my pencil. That's the tool I'll be using. Let me bump up the width of the line weight a little bit. So, okay, so here I go. So I'm on a different layer here. I'll bring my layers over here to show you a little bit better here. So I'm working on layers. So my the sketch right now is on this layer, and I have the opacity down so I can kind of cover it up as I draw. For this design, I'm going to kind of approach this as I often do. I kind of think of it as a two-dimensional design, and what is a two-dimensional design? But I think of it as shapes and design primarily as I'm sketching. And so instead of doing specifics as far as a flower or a star or a particular instrument or what, I allocate them the space that they'll take up generally at this point. And then after that, kind of like a lot of musicians will write songs. A lot of singer-songwriters will write their songs they'll write their music first, and then they'll just kind of sing along to it, almost like nonsense words, but just to kind of work on the melody of it and what sounds will fit into the music. And then they'll go back, and after they have that melody in there, they'll actually place words into that song to fit the melody that they whistled or hummed or babbled through this music that they wrote. So it's kind of how I do this. I kind of work in, go go a little bit thicker. I kind of work in my shapes. This is my hero, I call it, the owl, and this design. So this is this design is kind of based on a lot of circles. So right now I'm just kind of sketching in where the primaries and the support shapes will lay. So this is my owl, which is kind of like an egg, but it, once again, is kind of based on a circle, right? And this is the rainbow from, you know, kind of 70s type of, you know, icon there. So, and once again, this is where this, you know, I'm kind of shaping in the big parts, the hierarchies of this design. So I know that I'm kind of following along kind of what I had on the original sketch, because I like the meat of it, the meat of the original sketch that I got approved. So right now, I'm going to go in and just kind of lay out quickly how it's going to generally lay out in more detail. So you see like these flowers. I'm not going to have all of these flowers, but I usually just draw a circle just for a placeholder. This is where I want the basic shapes to be, whatever will replace these flowers. Some won't be flowers, and I look at it like I look at it as shapes and not necessarily a specific object. And then this kind of gives me a map to how I want the layout to be, you know, a solid composition. So yeah, I might want a shape in here, and maybe some little more object. And these circles, these flowers some might end up hearts or musical notes, or they could be whatever, cupcakes. But the circle allows me to lay this out without going into specifics. So when I do go to like specifics as far as details of what this item is, I know that the layout will be already there as far as composition goes. So once again, I'm not worried about what this object looks like specifically. I'm just worried about what the space that it takes up. And so here's my basic border, which is, I'm going to do like a rounded border to kind of give it that 70s vibe. I used to collect a lot of old stickers and things like that, and crack and peel stickers. I just remember a lot of them had that curved, rounded corner to it. Okay, so this is the hierarchy, the owl, the shapes here. There's some support for the narrative. So the main narrative of this illustration will exist in this space, and everything else will kind of support it. So on this pencil sketch that I sent them, I do like the clouds down here. I think it gives it a nice anchor to the base. And as you can see, it's a neighborhood porch fest, of course. So I do want to show some detail and give a little environment to this neighborhood. And so I always try to put some houses back here, just to add to the narrative that it is a neighborhood with, you know, a lot of just a really good tight community of people, and also the houses kind of, yeah, symbolize just the community and the neighborhood and people living together and enjoying this event. So once again, I'm not drawing people, but by drawing these houses, it implies, you know, a life in this neighborhood. So, and you know, I might add some chimneys. I might. This is a fall festival, so it's in October. So I might draw some smoke as just a graphic, like a little narrative to show what these houses and the season that it is. And also, being since it is Oakhurst, as you can guess, there's a lot of oak trees in this area. So I'll throw in an acorn. I might have some acorns popping out of here, or some oak leaves. It's nice to add little nods to the neighborhood and what it's about. Anything to add to the narrative, I'm all about whenever I can. It's just a big way I illustrate. I like to tell a story without words, just with images that give you the story. Okay, so I have this right now. I'm just adding some more detail. I haven't done a lot more than what the original sketch is, but I am thinking about it. I am changing. I am kind of adding. We'll be adding more nuance to this, but so I have this, and this is kind of. I mean, not counting the details of the owl itself, but this is as far as the sketch will take me, the original sketch, and all this stuff in here and the original sketch, it would just throw it in for concept for them to approve and get an idea what I want to do. But I really do need to explore a lot of what I want to do with this background area, because I do want it to get busy and full and fun. And hence, like, I look at a lot of this detail, in this design. I'm sorry, I don't remember the illustrator of this, but great design, by the way. I have this up here because, not that I want to copy it, of course, but I just like how they fill up the areas, and so it'll give me some ideas how to fill up the areas. Same with this one. This is the same, just a lot of dynamics, a lot of shapes and movement in this, so I kind of like that. So like I said before, this is a fall fest, so I kind of want to bring up, I'm toying with the idea of maybe bringing up some flowers, some autumn flowers, which I've researched, and maybe I go with, because it is 70s, and the daisy and the flower were big little symbols they used a lot in the 70s. So I might use this to kind of create some busyness in this design. So I might use some flowers up there, and I can bring in some oak leaves possibly. So at this stage, I'm just kind of thinking, just kind of drawing a stream of consciousness, kind of just thinking of things, how I could fill up the space and still have it a really nice graphic design, have it enhance the layout. So I have flowers in here, and there's so many different kind of flowers. And even though it's not a spring fest, so I did my research, and I'm big into that. Yeah, just researching things. It's a fall fest, so I kind of researched some fall flowers that would possibly be around in Georgia in October. So, but also a lot of the colors will be. I think I'm probably going to go for a bright color palette. Maybe something around these purple. I know purple is a color that the organization uses. The organization uses a lot in their branding. So I'm kind of playing with more of these shapes over here. And once I get this over here, I'll probably almost kind of mirror it over to this side. Maybe it might not exactly mirror, but it'll be pretty close to a mirrored image. I may throw in just change the organization of these leaves and flowers to give it a little bit of movement and asymmetrical feel to it. So right now I'm just drawing oak leaves. There's flowers over there. So I haven't decided all the flowers. Maybe just some And it's the neighborhood too is very, I mean, full of trees and nature, so it makes sense to use that as part of the design and layout of it. So, you know, I might have some more clouds peeking over here, just to give me some. The more things I have drawn, the more objects, the more places I have to put color. And so this is like the first round. Like I said, I'll probably, you know, be drawing up I'll draw over this sketch, you know, 2 or 3 more times until I get it fine-tuned. So this is his little feet because he's kind of perched on this rainbow. Maybe that foot would be aiming the other way because he's kind of at an angle, right? So, and then maybe there's a smile on this guy. I could make him a little bit stoned, I guess, but we'll see how they let me make him a little sleepy. Okay, so then now I have this rest of this part to fill up here. It is a musical. It's a musical event, so you know I hate using musical